Heidi ho, friends. When you see this video, and oh, we always hope you do, it will be the start of December 2024, which leads us into holiday season deeper and deeper into the icy time of year. And thankfully right now we have not gotten there. Thankfully for me, I'm happy. But it has to come. And our sweet friends like this owl and my little icy gnome, they have to find ways to live in the forest safely. And so the story today is about an opportunity for a child to go into the beautiful snowy woods with her father. What story am I asking or talking about? Pardon me, little owl. It's called Owl Moon by Jane Yolen. I read this to my children. I love this book. So I'm not going to chit-chat too long because it's a bit longer. The illustrations are stunning by John Schoenherr. I looked up his name. I'm sorry, John. I'm not saying it well. Schoenherr. I think that was it. But please take note of the illustrations. They are gorgeous. Let's imagine some snow on the ground. It was late one winter night, long past my bedtime, when Pa and I went owling. There was no wind, and the trees stood still as giant statues. And the moon was so bright, the sky seemed to shine. Somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew long and low, like a sad, sad song. So here you have a farming family by the looks of things, right? And here's the train they're talking about, long and low in the distance. Beautiful winter landscape. Pardon me. I'm good, I guess. All right, here we go. I could hear it through the woolen cap Pa had pulled down over my ears. A farm dog answered the train. And then a second dog joined in. They sang out trains and dogs for a real long time. And when their voices faded away, it was quiet as a dream. We walked on toward the woods, Pa and I. And here's a fox, right, keeping eye on Pa and the child walking in the woods. Good safe distance, yep. I love this picture. So, like, perfectly peaceful. Our feet crunched over the crisp snow and little gray footprints followed us. Pa made a long shadow, but mine was short and round. I had to run after him every now and then to keep up, and my short, round shadow bumped after me. Sure enough, it is much shorter, isn't it? But I never called out, if you go owling, you have to be quiet. That's what Pa has always said. I had been waiting to go owling with Pa for a long, long time. Probably had to get to be old enough. We reached the line of pine trees, black and pointy against the sky, and Pa held up his hand. I stopped right where I was and waited. He looked up as if searching the stars, as if reading a map up there somewhere. The moon made his face into a silver mask, and then he called, "Ooh! Ooh, ooh." The sound of the great horned owl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. That might not be the best horned owl impersonation. Pardon me. I did listen to a video of them. Again he called out, and then again. And after each call he was silent, and as for the moment, we both listened. But there was no answer. Pa shrugged and I shrugged. I wasn't disappointed. My brothers all said that sometimes there's an owl and sometimes there isn't. But there is a raccoon right here in the tree. See it? Our friends take refuge in the cold where they can find a place. Now look, the snow's getting deeper because look how the little one has to really lift their legs. We walked on. I could feel the cold, as if someone's icy hand was palmed down on my back, and my nose and the top of my cheeks felt cold and hot at the very same time. But I never said a word. If you go owling, you have to be quiet and make your own heat. You have to be very grown up out in the woods. We went into the woods. The shadows were the blackest things I had ever seen. They stained the white snow. My mouth felt furry for the scarf over it, and it was wet and warm. I didn't ask what kinds of things hid behind the black trees in the middle of the night. When you go owling, you have to be brave. That is very scary out there, right? Like, especially in the very dark spaces. I understand. Like right here, kind of a dark scene. Then we came to a clearing in the dark woods. The moon was high above us. It seemed to fit exactly over the center of the clearing, and the snow below it was whiter than the milk in a cereal bowl. Really beautiful. White against all that gray blue. I sighed, and Pa held up his hand at the sound. I put my mittens over the scarf, over my mouth, and listened hard. And then Pa called, hoo hoo, hoo hoo, hoo, hoo hoo, hoo hoo, hoo. I listened, and I looked so hard that my eyes hurt and my ears got all cloudy like the cold, and Pa raised his face to call out again. But before he could open his mouth, an echo came threading its way through the trees. Hoo hoo, hoo hoo, hoo. Somebody's answering them back. Pa almost smiled, and then he called back, hoo hoo, hoo hoo, hoo. Just as if he and the owl were talking about supper or about the woods or the moon or the cold. I took my mitten of the scarf off my mouth, and I almost smiled too. The next picture is my very favorite. It's really incredible. Next to the next. The owl came closer. From high up in the trees on the edge of the meadow, nothing in the meadow moved. All of a sudden, an owl shadow, part of a big tree shadow, lifted off and flew right over us. We watched silently, with heat in our mouths, the heat of all those words we had not spoken. The shadow hooted again. Here it comes. Get ready, the next two pictures are incredible. Pa turned on his big flashlight and caught the owl just as it was landing on a branch. Look at the wingspan of that owl. Huge. And the best of the best. Look at this owl. For 1 minute, 3 minutes, maybe even 100 minutes, we stared at one another. This is just spectacular, isn't it? Those ears, the horned ears, those eyes and the talons right there. Then the owl pumped its great wings and lifted off the branch like a shadow without a sound. It flew back into the forest. Time to go home, Pa said to me. I knew then I could talk, and I could even laugh out loud. But I was a shadow as we walked home. Thinking about this incredible experience. When you go owling, you don't need words, or warm, or anything but hope. That's what Pa says. The kind of hope that flies on silent wings under a shining owl moon. I really love this story. And my little critter, well, he's really supposed to be a gnome, my little icy gnome that I made to decorate our library for this icy season. We're going to make something sort of like this for our craft this week. Are you ready? Come join me at the blue icy table. Back we are here at the table once again, eh? So I made my version of an icy gnome getting ready to be out in the woods for the winter season that is on the way. Who knows when it finally arrives, that's okay. But this is our version right here, and I think he's adorable. I really do. Not, the same, but our version nonetheless. So here's what you will get in your kit. First, you'll have the craft tube. Now, if I had had enough blue tubes, or yeah, I didn't have white tubes, I would have done that, but I didn't have that, so we've gone with green like the trees. Yeah? All right. So you get that. You will get a couple pair of mittens that are all, I cut them all out for you. Whoops, that one's flipped. A couple pair of mittens that I glued onto the side of my little gnome because it's cold out. Then I will cut a piece of the gnome's beard. It's a triangle shape, and I will cut that for you for your craft. Also, we have to have some eyes. Now, if I don't truly have enough of our large enough eyes, what I will have in your kit will be some buttons. And here they are. So they'll be still so wonderful. And if I put buttons, I'll put both a white and a smaller black so that it makes it look like an eye. Okay? What's left? Okay, the hat and the little feet. So the hat, well, it all depends on what color you find in your own little craft kit. It could be, pink, it could be this one, it could be a purple, it could be black, it could be brown. It depends what I've got. But what I did was to glue the inside of the craft tube with just glue, regular glue. And then I put the puff right inside, and now it is nice and sturdy. On top of the hat, you will have an array, an assortment of fun little shiny blingies to decorate anywhere you want on your icy gnome or your winter gnome, whatever you want to call it. And then lastly, you'll have two smaller puff balls. I've got them in another bag that you'll put on the shoes, and the shoes are a popsicle stick that I will cut into two pieces for you. Now, I colored mine gray. They will be that tan, buffy, kind of buff color. When you get them, you can paint them, you can leave them alone. You don't even have to have little ice shoes if you don't want them. But that's what I did, and then I decorated the little top of the shoes. And that, my friends, is our beginning of our holiday decorating season. Yeah? Okay, until next week, stay warm. Bye-bye.